नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवै गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतिसे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ब्रह्मदेवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. I welcome all the devotees for today's, for me, evening session and for you, morning session of Bhagavad Gita. Today we are trying to understand from the 8th chapter of the 8th shloka of the second chapter, 2.8. But before that, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्यात् यच्चोकमुच्चोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमौ असपन्नमृद्धम् राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्। न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्यात् यच्चोकमुच्चोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमौ असपत्नमृद्धम् राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्। न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्यात् यच्चोकमुच्चोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमौ वसपत्नमृद्धम् राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्। Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। परमानन्दमाधवं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। जयतां सुरतोर्पङ्गो मम मन्दमते गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बुजो राधा मदनमोहनं कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः, गोविन्दाय नमो नमः, गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्री। Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita as it is 2.8. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudhyat yachchokamuchoshanamindriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatnamriddham rajyam suranam apichadipatyam. I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. So, Srila Prabhupada mentions in his purport. Although Arjuna was putting forward so many arguments based on the knowledge of the principles of dharma and other moral codes, but he was unable to solve his real problem without the help of a guru, which was Lord Sri Krishna. Arjuna understood that his so-called knowledge of Dharma Shastras and other moral codes were useless in driving away his problems. So it was impossible for Arjuna to solve a very bewildering situation which he found himself in without the help of a guru who happened to be Sri Krishna for him. Usually, what we think, our knowledge of Dharma, our knowledge of Dharma Shastras, which we have acquired on our own, can help us when we are facing a very delicate situation. But the import or the essence of the Dharma Granthas or Dharma Shastras or moral codes of conduct will be well known to us, or we understand these things with their essence only when we learn it from a bona fide spiritual master. Otherwise, there was no need for this Guru Parampara. The Lord revealed the Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, everything was revealed. So all of you study on your own. There is no need for a guru. Correct? So the Shastras or the Vedic scriptures we will learn the real essence of these scriptures only when we learn it from a Sadguru who is Shotriya and Brahmanishta. Shotriya means he is well versed in the scriptures. Brahmanishta means he is well established in Krishna consciousness. So these are the two prerequisites for a bona fide spiritual master or Sadguru. First, he should be Shotriya. He should be well versed in scriptures. Second is he should be Brahmanishta means he should be well established in Krishna consciousness in a bona fide disciplic succession, parampara. You go to any three matastha sampradayas, Advaita, Dvaita, and Vishishta Advaita, they all have the Guru Parampara, starting from the Supreme Lord himself. In the Advaita Sampradaya, Lord Shiva, he is the origin. And if you read the Dakshinamurti Stotra, it is mentioned, Maunam Vyakya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam. So Dakshinamurti, an incarnation of Lord Shiva, is sitting in silence, but he is emanating the spiritual knowledge to all his disciples who are sitting in front of him. Although he is not talking, but he is emanating the spiritual knowledge from his Mauna. Maunam Vyakya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam. So this is the Advaita Sampradaya. And of course, you know the Dvaita Sampradaya or Madhva Sampradaya. Ours is Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So here the Adi Guru or the origin is Lord Shri Krishna himself. Krishna gave this knowledge to Brahmaji. When the creation took place, Brahma was sitting in the lotus flower and he was completely bewildered. He could not understand where I am, what am I supposed to do? Then he prayed. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he came, he appeared in front of him, he shook hands with him, and he gave him this spiritual knowledge. So that's why we say Brahma. Now our Sampradaya, the first person who received this knowledge from God was Brahma. Brahma Madhva, Madhvacharya. Gaudiya means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gauda means Bengal. Gauda Desha means Bengal, state of Bengal. So Brahmaji gave this knowledge received this knowledge directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he gave this knowledge to his son Narada Muni. Narada gave it to Vyasa. Vyasa gave it to Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami gave it to Parikshit Maharaj. And from there, from the disciplic succession, this spiritual knowledge has been transmitted in an unbroken spiritual succession. Unbroken. So, Arjuna could understand that he could not solve the problems with his knowledge of scriptures. Guru was necessary. That's why Srila Prabhupada mentions academic knowledge, scholarship, high position, they all are useless in solving the problems of life. We think like that. If I'm in a very good position, or if I'm highly knowledgeable, or if I'm very well versed in scripture, I can solve all my problems. No. You can get help and you can solve your problems only under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. And in this case, it was Krishna who became the spiritual master of Arjuna. In the last class, we studied how Arjuna pleaded with Krishna. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava prachami tvam dharma sammoda chetaha yashreyasam tat yashreyasam bruhitanme shishyasteham swadimam tvam prapannam yashreyasya nishchitam bruhitanme shishyasteham swadimam tvam prapannam. Hey Krishna, now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure. Why? Because of Karpanya dosha. Vahata Swabhava. I have lost all my composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain. Yachreyasam, Yachreyasya Nishchitam. Nishchitam means tell me for sure, tell me for certain. Bruhi tanme, tell me. Shishyasteham Swadimam Tvam Prapannam. I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Please consider me as your disciple and his soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. See, Krishna didn't accept the position of a guru till such time Arjuna pleaded with him. Arjuna, in fact, pleaded with him. No, I want to surrender to you. So please instruct me. What is Shreyasam Nishchitam Bruhitam me? Tell me for certain what is beneficial for me, because I don't know. My composure is gone because of Karpadni dosha. No, miserly, because of miserly weakness. Now I have lost all composure, my dear Krishna. Now in this situation, I request you, I am a soul surrender to you. I consider you as my spiritual master. Please instruct me what is beneficial for me. Therefore, the spiritual master has to be 100% Krishna conscious. And he should be coming in the bona fide spiritual succession, parampara. Then only he can give you guidance. Otherwise, it's not possible. See, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, who can become a spiritual master? He said, Kiba Vipra Kibanyasi Shudra Kenenaya Yai Krishna Tattvaveta Sai Guru Haya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Kiba Vipra. It does not matter whether a person is a Vipra, means born in a Brahmin family, a learned scholar in Vedic wisdom, doesn't matter. Shudra Kene Naya, or he is born in a lower family of Shudras, or he is in the renounced order of life, he has become a sannyasi. But Yai Krishna Tattva Veta means if he is a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, Sai Guru Haya, he is the perfect and bona fide spiritual master. Who said this? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, only a Smartha Brahmin who is wearing a vibhuti, well versed in all the Upanishads, no, only he can become a spiritual. No, he didn't say. Eva Vipra Kibanyasa Shudra Kena Haya. Yai Krishna Tattva Veta, Sai Guru Haya. If he is expert in Yai Krishna Tattva Veta means, if he is an expert in Krishna consciousness, he is the right Guru. He has to be considered as the right Guru. So, unless somebody is a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, he is not a bona fide spiritual master. This is also mentioned in the Vedic literature. Satkarma Nipuno Vipro Mantra Tantra Visharadaha Avaishnavo Gurur Nasyat Vaishnava Swapacho Guruhu. A scholarly Brahmana, it is mentioned in the Padma Purana, a scholarly Brahmana, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master without becoming a Vaishnava or expert in the sense of Krishna consciousness. Satkarma Nipuno Vipro Mantra Tantra Visharadaha. But Avaishnava means he doesn't have any Vaishnava qualities. He is not expert in the process of Krishna consciousness. Avaishnava Guru Nasyad, Vaishnava Shopacho Guruhu. So he says, even if he is a Satkarma Nipuno Vipro, even if he is born in a very high family, well versed in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, but if he is not a Vaishnava, that means if he is not well versed in Krishna consciousness, he is unfit to become a spiritual master. On the contrary, a person born in a family of low caste, Shwapacha means dog eaters usually, very Panchama we say. The Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, below that. Such a person, Shwapacha, if he is a Vaishnava, that means or his Krishna consciousness, he can become a spiritual master. So Padma Purana has emphatically told this. So the problems of our material existence, which is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, birth, death, old age, disease, these cannot be counteracted, by knowledge or becoming rich, or you nicely develop your economic situation. No. There are many countries in this world who are the first world countries, we call it. Right, for example, America or some nations in Europe like Sweden, this Denmark, Norway, what do you call that? Denmark, Norway, then Sweden, and one more country is there. They all are very highly developed countries, where the standard of living is quite high. But still, they cannot achieve real happiness. They cannot achieve real happiness unless and until they consult the bona fide scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Upanishads, under the guidance of a bona fide representative of Krishna, who is Guru. Or, in other words, a man deeply rooted in Krishna consciousness. So, Srila Prabhupada says, if economic development and material comforts, if they can drive away, any suffering or lamentation, whether it is social, national, or international, then Arjuna would not have said that even an unrivaled kingdom on earth or supremacy like that of demigods in the heavenly planets would be unable to drive away his sorrow or misery or lamentation. Arjuna told, even if I get the full sovereignty of this Mother Earth with the powers like that of the demigods, still my lamentation or my grief or my sorrow would not go. Arjuna was very intelligent. So, therefore, he took refuge in Krishna consciousness. And that is the right path for peace and harmony. So, economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished anytime because the material nature is so fickle. Anytime, anything can happen. Even if you get admitted into heavenly planets, there also everything can be finished in one stroke. Padapadam yat vipadam natesham. There is a danger in every step in this material world. So, Bhagavad Gita says, no, Shine Punya Martyalokam Vishanti. Once your quota of Punya is finished, you have to come back to this material world again. When the results of your pious activities are finished, you fall down to this Murtiloka. So, from the peak of happiness to all the struggle in this material world once again. So many great personalities, they have fallen down. Now, for example, see Sri Lanka, that Gotabaya Rajapaksa, he was living in a residential palace with so many servants, so many comforts, luxuries. He was kicked out. He had to, like a thief, he took a private jet, he went to Singapore. From there, first he went to Maldives, then Singapore. Now he has come to Saudi Arabia. I don't know where he will go next. So one day you were an unrivaled king in your country, of the whole country. The next day you have become a fugitive. You're searching for a shelter in some different country. So if we want to curb the lamentation or our sorrow for good, we have to take shelter of Krishna. So like what Arjuna is doing here now. So Arjuna asked Krishna to solve Yashrayasam Nishchitam Bruhitanmi Shishyasteham Swadimam Tvam Prapannam. He is asking, please consider me as your servant, your disciple, and tell me for sure, certainly, what is good for me. We also should ask our spiritual master like this. We should ask him, Yashreyasam, which is Shreyas for me? You please instruct me. Yashreyasam Nishchitam Bhuhitan me Shishyasteham Swadimam Tvam Prapanna. So when we are swamped in misery, our buddhi, the intellect, it keeps analyzing the cause of misery. But the intelligence also has a limitation. It can only go up to a certain point. After that, it cannot go. Then what happens? You feel dejected. See, Arjuna's problems, they are not small problems. Arjuna's intelligence was this much, but the problems he was facing were much bigger than his intellectual abilities. So, whatever knowledge he had gained till then, it was insufficient. It was not able to solve him from the grief which he was facing. So, that's why what he did, he accepted Krishna as his guru. Now Arjuna is, he's pouring out his heart to Krishna. And see, it is not easy for a person like Arjuna to say that, now consider me as your servant, because he was a prince, and his strength, even he could defeat even the demigods, that was his strength. For such a person to cry piteously and beg Krishna to accept him as a servant and to instruct him what is beneficial for me, it is not easy thing. Please try to understand. Unless you are driven to that state, see, even now, can we go and pour our heart in front of somebody, such and such a thing has happened to me? No, because our ego will say, no, don't open yourself out. You have to guard your secrets. When there is a problem, do we go and tell everybody? No, we don't tell. Why? Because we feel ashamed. Our ego will prevent us. But here, Arjuna is pouring out his heart to Krishna. I cannot drive away this grief. It's very difficult for me. So you are the only solace. You are the only shelter. See, Arjuna's situation is not unique. This is invariably, this is the situation we also find many times in our life as we go through the journey of life. We want happiness, but we get misery. We desire knowledge, but we are unable to lift ourselves from the cloud of ignorance. We crave for perfect love, but what we get? We get repeated disappointments. Nobody has the ability to respond for our craving of love. So our college degrees, acquired knowledge, internet knowledge, WhatsApp university, and Bundes scholarships, they don't provide any solution for the perplexities of life. Impossible. It is not possible. So we need divine knowledge to solve the puzzle of life. That knowledge, that treasure chest of knowledge, divine knowledge, is opened when we find a Sadguru. He will open the bandar of the divine knowledge to us. Because he is situated in transcendence or Krishna consciousness. If we have the humility to learn from him, the Guru has the ability to open the vast or bandar of transcendental divine knowledge to us. So, what path we have to take? We have to take the path of Arjuna. So, when we are bewildered, we have to open our heart to the Guru. So, Karpanya dosha, sorry, I cannot continue like this. You have to help me. So, Arjuna took that path, and also he realized that the sorrow which he got was a result of his attachment. Attachment to whom? Attachment to his grandfather, attachment to his guru, attachment to his cousin brothers, and all his kinsmen. See, this is a very extraordinary situation which Arjuna found himself in. So this sorrow, it burrowed deep into his personality. It went deep into his personality, and Arjuna could not tolerate that. So this deep-rooted sorrow, it had the effect of completely bewildering Arjuna and threw him off the track. He was not able to see or hear clearly. The sorrow was not easy to remove. Just to see the prospect of killing your own gurus, your grandfather, who have showered their love and affection on you, and all your own brothers in the battlefield. So Arjuna understood that, and he came to a conclusion that what he was looking for, it could not be found in this material world. If this were the cause, he would have been happy with wealth, riches, the kingdom. But here he is saying, even if you give me a sovereignty over the whole earth, as if like the demigods which are in heaven, still it would not satisfy me. He told Krishna clearly. So Arjuna reached a point where the only thing that mattered for him was the ultimate cure from the sorrow he was facing. A cure that was permanent, and not something, just give some wealth. We say, when a person is suffering, go and give him $1 billion US. He will become perfectly happy. No. So what he was looking for was an ultimate cure that Arjuna was seeking. It was a much higher than, the riches of this world, or even for the riches of heaven, or knowledge. It was completely above all this, I think. So this we have to understand. See, whenever we achieve something special, we feel very happy, elated, correct? When we achieve something very special, extraordinary. But how long it will stay with us? That feeling of happiness, euphoria. Oh, I did this. See, when you pass an exam, you will feel happy for a few days. After that, oh, which higher education shall I take? Or should I get the job? Who will give me a job? Now jobs are very difficult to come by. The whole world is just on the brink of getting into a recession. It's not easy. Today, one girl has come from Karnataka. She called me, Prabhuji. She was attending my classes also. She has done her electronics and communication engineering, and she has come to Bahrain on a 2-month visa, and she is searching for a job. I asked her, what sort of job are you looking for? She said, any job, Prabhuji, whether it is in accounts department or front office, reception, anything will do for me. I just want to be financially independent. I am staying in somebody's house now. I can't go on like this for long. Get me any job. See, she is an engineer, electronics and communication. She is ready to work as a receptionist or as an accounts clerk or even as a primary school teacher also. So jobs are very difficult to get. So that euphoria of having passed an exam, that will be very short-lived. So see, it is so often the society or the world, the world sets a certain goals for us. And we pursue these goals, like a robo, programmed robo, without even thinking whether this is good for me or does it give me a lasting fulfillment. We don't think. They said, go take electronics and communication engineering, go to Europe, go to America, settle down, get a permanent residency, get a passport, and all your problems are solved. But is it the case? Even if you come to the land of opportunities, which is the name given to USA, still you have to face so many mental, emotional turmoils, the separation from our loved ones, getting diseased, becoming old, death. All these problems will continue to haunt us. Even if you go to USA or Canada or Europe, wherever you go. So, so we like programmed robots, we pursue certain goals set by society for us, and we feel there is no fulfillment. So the goals what the society has set us, or what the goals we have set for ourselves, they should be in resonance with the feelings of our heart. Then, then only fulfillment can come. Otherwise, they won't give us fulfillment. If the goals what we have kept is not in resonance with our longing, deep longings in our heart, then we will not get happiness. That's why Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is telling, see, what is the requirement for a warrior, goal of a warrior? He wants to defeat his enemies, a prince or a warrior. He wants to defeat his enemies and attain unrivaled power. Nobody should question him. No, unrivaled power. Nobody to defeat him. Nobody to subjugate him. So even such unrivaled power, Arjuna is saying, it will not remove the emptiness that I am having. It will not remove the sorrow or lamentation which I am facing right now. Krishna, Arjuna is saying. So this candid recognition on the part of Arjuna, and he declared it to Krishna. That made him a perfectly eligible candidate to receive the wisdom of Gita. Correct? First, the candid recognition that any amount of name, fame, glory, unrivaled power will not drive away my lamentation. And he declared it to his spiritual master. So that made him a fit candidate to receive the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita was given to Arjuna. Why? Because Arjuna was ready. He knew that any amount of recognition, achievement will not drive away my lamentation. What I need is a divine spiritual knowledge, which only Krishna can give. So he surrendered. So we are also part of Krishna. We are also part and parcel of Krishna. So in the grand scheme of things, we also have our own parts to play. Please don't forget this. In the grand scheme of things envisaged by Krishna, we also have a role. We also have a part to play based on our spiritual individuality and our nature. Nature means our psycho-physical nature. Everybody cannot do everything. What I am doing, Surya Prasad Prabhu may not be able to do it. What Surya Prasad Prabhu does, I may not be able to do it. What Anuradha Mataji does, both of us will not be able to do it. So everybody has a psycho-physical nature. And everybody has a part to play in the grand scheme of things which Krishna has envisaged. We also have a part to play. So if we play our part, wholeheartedly, we're not thinking, oh, I've got a small role or I have got a big role. Not like that. Whatever, irrespective of how big or how small, that part may be, then we can find fulfillment. We can find fulfillment when we play our part wholeheartedly. Whether it is big or small, then we get the fulfillment. So even while playing our part, the fulfillment comes when we achieve something that is meaningful to us. Correct? See, what is meaningful to you may not be meaningful to the outside world. or noteworthy in front of the outside world. See, for example, I will just give an example. If you are addicted to alcohol, okay, you are a drunkard, you are a alcohol abuser. With great difficulty, you join. There is an organization called Alcoholics Anonymous. People join there. They undergo prayer sessions. They have they open their heart in front of other addicts. Nobody will judge you there. Everybody is sympathetic towards you. Everybody will pray for you. Everybody will encourage you. So you have become a uh, liquor addict. Then, after joining this organization, for example, if you remain dry for 100 years continuously without even touching alcohol, then that's a great fulfillment, great achievement for you. But a person like me, I have never touched alcohol. For me, what is the big deal? He abstained only for 100 days. I have been abstaining for 60 long years. so, so I will not understand it. For me, it may not be a big thing. But for the person who was a alcoholic, for him it is a great achievement. It gives him so much fulfillment. Yes, I gave it up. For last 100 days, I remained dry. That's a big achievement for him. Correct? So similarly, for each one of us, in a particular situation, we do something which is significant for us. Then that achievement will give us great fulfillment. Not necessarily that the world should be impressed. No. See, if I make a resolve, or I have already made a resolve, that I will chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mantra every day till the end of my life. How many of the people in the world know about this fact? Hardly anybody. My family members know it. My wife, my daughter, my brother, his wife, his daughter, and my parents. Other than that, hardly anybody. Because while taking Diksha from Guru Maharaj, we gave him a oath. We took a oath in front of the fire that I will chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I will chant it till the end of my life. I will follow the 4 regulative principles. No intoxication, no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex. So we told them that we will abstain from all these 4 sinful propensities, and we will also chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day till the end of our lives. Hardly anybody knows it, but has it not given me the fulfillment? Of course, it has given. So don't allow the world to dictate to you what you should achieve. No, you should not give the world that freedom. We need to understand what provides us fulfillment, that we should understand, and we should strive to move forward in that direction. Correct? It is not that we give the complete reins of our life to somebody else. Let them decide what I want, what gives me fulfillment. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to figure it out. What gives me that inner happiness, that inner fulfillment, and we should strive towards it, assiduously work towards it. Correct? So, I'm not saying don't ask anybody's opinion or don't care for anybody. No, I'm not advocating that. When you are living in a society, definitely at some point of time, we we receive some advice from our elders. We receive advice from our spouses. We even receive advice from our children. So we have to accept it. It is not. I'm not saying you have to become like a inflexible steel rod. No, I'm not saying. Or we also can give advice to others. But if we have to give advice uh, to somebody who we are not officially or in relationship with them, then we have to wait. We have to wait. If we try to advise anybody with whom we are not related or whom we are with whom we are not officially obligated, then if you advise them before they seek it, in all probability, they will reject it. They won't even care for it. They will neglect it and they will reject it. So we have to be patient. So see, Krishna here, he demonstrates this kind of patience while interacting with Arjuna at the start of Bhagavad Gita. See, Krishna is supremely competent. Is there anybody more competent than Krishna to give advice? Definitely not. Krishna, he is the supreme Lord. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. But he patiently waited. He patiently waited. He is sitting right next to Arjuna in the chariot. And yet he remained silent. Almost first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is advancing so many arguments against fighting. But Krishna kept quiet. He was listening. Kept quiet means he was not neglecting him. He was very carefully listening to him, but he was patiently waiting. And Arjuna told in the 1.46, first chapter 46 sloka, sorry, I will not fight. Then Krishna responds, not as a guru, but as a friend. He gave him a pep talk. Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam anarjishtam asvargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. Like a friend in the second chapter, second sloka and third sloka. Klaibhyamas magama partha nainam tayu upapadyate shudram hrudaya daurbilyam tyaktotishta parantapa. Now get up, Arjuna. Now fight. From where have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting of a person of your caliber. Krishna was giving a pep talk. Pep talk means just to encourage somebody. But what Arjuna did, Arjuna started countering Krishna's points. But even when he started countering Krishna's points, Krishna didn't become offensive or defensive. No, he let Arjuna speak. So in the second chapter, fourth shloka, fifth shloka, he spoke. Then he went out. He ran out of his steam. Then Arjuna realized that all my arguments are futile. It has no sensible, feasible options. Then he lost. That was 2.6. Then 2.7, he said, Karpanyadosho Parata Svava Ratsamitvam Dharma Sammodachitaha Yashreyasam Nishchitam Prohitan Me Shishyasteham Swadimam Prapam. Then he surrendered to Krishna as a disciple, asking him to know Dharma. What is Dharma? Real Dharma. What is the right thing to do? Even then, Krishna waits till Arjuna declares that in this shloka, any amount of worldly success, however glamorous, like that of the suras in the demigods in the heaven, will remove his sense of grief, his sense of lamentation. He agreed in this shloka. Only then Krishna spoke the Gita to Arjuna. So Krishna is demonstrating a very nice universal principle. What is that? Before advising others, first let others use their independence and also their intelligence to realize that they need guidance. First allow a person to use his independence and also his intelligence to realize that he needs guidance. So if we wait patiently, but being alert, vigilantly, then what happens? The person in front of us may ask us to give some guidance. Only at that time we can step in like what Krishna did. So this lesson we have to learn from Krishna, not to unnecessarily, go and try to give advice to people without being asked. Unsolicited advice, that we should be avoiding. So going back to our discussion, how to find fulfillment in what work we do, in what achievements we achieve. See, if at all, we all want to do something worthwhile, something the world will notice and appreciate. But unfortunately, it is not easy. Because even if you achieve something substantial, significant, it may not translate into fulfillment. So, this was the pain we all undergo at some point of time in our lives. We think that what we have done is wonderful, but from the world, world means what? Who means the world to you? Your parents, your spouses, your children, your relatives, your friends. They may not acknowledge it. Then it gives you pain. So how you can ensure that your achievement leads to the fulfillment of your heart? So if what we achieve is truly personally meaningful to us, then we get the fulfillment. That happens, you know, that doesn't happen when you are pressurized or when you are persuaded by the society or even allured to indulge in the glamorous world, glamorization. But all this propaganda, all the mind's fantasies, you know, make us over-evaluate, things that are not really important to us. Then how you will get fulfillment? You have to ask this question. So what things are really important to us? This is a question we have to ask ourselves. What is it that is really important to me? What is really important to me is my spiritual essence, my core. I am a Atma, Jivatma. I am part and parcel of Krishna. So I really find lasting fulfillment only the part which is Jivatma connects to the whole, which is Paramatma or Krishna. So when we lovingly link ourselves with Krishna internally, and whatever we have, use it to serve him externally, then we get propelled. We get propelled to a sublime spiritual fulfillment. This spiritual fulfillment is what we are hankering for. See, if you strive to do this, the world may dismiss you, saying that this is nothing. It is. They will say it is not worthy. You may not be able to grab the attention of the world, but you know within the core of your heart that what I have achieved is substantial. It has given me eternal and lasting happiness. So instead of chasing glamorous achievements or lamenting when we fail to achieve, we have to focus on pursuing those things that are meaningful to me, to my heart, to my core, my essence, which is I am a Jivatma and I am part and parcel of Krishna. So when the part links with the whole, it finds absolute fulfillment. That is how we find fulfillment in our material life. Otherwise, if we just go after what goals the society or the world has set for us, then we will never be able to get that lasting and eternal fulfillment. Impossible. So our fulfillment lies in linking ourselves to the whole, which is Krishna. That is the process of Krishna consciousness. And how you do it? One sure and easy thing is to chant the holy name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Other thing is association. Association. When you associate with Vaishnavas, those who are firmly established in Krishna consciousness, then what happens? Then you also become inspired to take up Krishna consciousness in all seriousness. The twin process. One is association. It is called the ABCD. A means association. B means Krishna conscious books, reading Krishna conscious books. C stands for chanting, and D stands for devotional service or diet. Both. A is for association of Vaishnavas. B is for Krishna conscious books. C is for chanting the holy name, and D stands for our diet or devotional service, and or both. So diet means you have to eat only food which has been offered to Krishna. And also we should take sattvic vegetarian food without onion and garlic. We have to abstain from tea, coffee, and those things which makes us addicted. And we should chant nicely every day without fail. We have to chant the holy name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we should read Krishna conscious books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, Srila Prabhupada has written commentaries on these wonderful literature. He used to sleep only 2 hours in the night. He would get up at 2 o'clock. After having slept at 12 o'clock, he would get up at 2 o'clock and start dictating his purports to the various verses of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So all Srila Prabhupada's spiritual ecstasy is there in those translations and purports of these texts, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So when we read that, we are associating with Srila Prabhupada. And also, we have to associate with Krishna conscious devotees. So all these 4 A, B, C, D will really help us to become fixed in Krishna consciousness. And once we become fixed in Krishna consciousness, now we experience that sense of fulfillment. So with this, I will conclude my class here. Now I request Surya Prasad Prabhu, we can call the other 4 participants who have joined in. One by one, they can come and give their realizations. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Surya.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, I'll go with Anu Mataji first.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah,
Hare
today's class just I learned and I want to practice one thing before advising anyone other than our family members. We had to be patient and we had to be, in that case, yeah, instead of advising them, we can pray for them. If we come to know if they have any type of suffering or something, instead of advising to do this, do that, just to heartful prayers. Krishna will guide them what to do, what not to do, everything. That I learned. I want to practice it. Very
Damodar Priya.
We're driving to Rath Yatra, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Chetan is driving and we are cards to going to Minnesota Rath Yatra. First time in America. I mean, like in Fargo was the first time. My mom and dad did together. So I'm so happy that finally I got that, connection with my parents. Like I always felt that, I don't want to be Krishna conscious, but I was so dumb. They want me to be in Krishna consciousness, and this one that my dad only organized this so that I get to always participate in Krishna Bhakti Riksha. So I'm very grateful for my father. I now my dad are best buddies. So I'm very, very happy. I don't want to say anything about all the realizations I've been realizing on my own slowly. But I just want to say that a lot of people think that why do you want to depend on Krishna 100%? You have to be in reality. But we often try to forget that more we depend on Krishna, we are actually independent. Because when we depend on Krishna, we don't have to worry about anything. Everything will be taken care of. But when you try to be independent, when you try to depend on your senses, when you try to depend on your ego, and you try to depend on your intelligence, then you have to look for things. You have to,
Mhm.
we think that we are independent. Even living in a country like America, we're always taken over by rules. We cannot just trespass someone's property, or we cannot just go over like Red Cross signal or something. So I realized in my life that when we depend on Krishna 100%, then we are independent as souls. Because when we serve Krishna 100%, we don't have to worry about anything. We're just like a baby doesn't have to worry about anything. He's
Yes.
very the mother will take care. Like that, Radha Maya is like waiting for us. Jab hum palat ke dekhna hai Krishna ko, we have to just see him once, and then he was ready to give to us. That's why I tell my mom and dad, like they have been practicing before I was born. So they're already, very advanced to them. So I'm just like struggling in Krishna consciousness. I just pray that my family experience, what Gauranga and Srila Prabhupada and all acharyas has given to us for free of cost, for free of cost.
Yes. Very nice realization, Damodar Priya. I also share your happiness and enthusiasm. I also felt very lifted up, sort of.
Yeah, Prabhuji, if you could just pray, hoping that we move to ISKCON Chicago congregation. They have a Kishori Ji temple. I wanted to say this because Guru Maharaj has come to that temple in 2006, and I've met this Prabhuji, His Grace, Vaishnava Sevanand Prabhuji. And he saw Guru Maharaj in 2007 sitting at the cafe, Govinda's cafe. And he was eating his pizza, it seems, and he told this Prabhuji, you make this place a family. I don't know why the Prabhuji told me, I don't know, but I felt wherever I am, it's an instruction given by Guru Maharaj, because he has a heart of bringing everyone, we're all Krishna's family, bringing everyone in service of Krishna. So that is his mood. That is all. Sometimes I get excited and play, but people don't take. They think it's just overacting kind of thing. But that's not my intention. I want everyone to be happy, everyone is family, everyone together. That is what feeling. But then I realized that we just have to work on ourselves. Only people will start, joining us. We don't have to tell anything to anyone. We practice 100%, then people around us will join.
Very well. Thank you, Damodar Priya. Yes, Prabhuji.
Enjoy your day, Deepya. So enjoy there and then share your experience with all of us later.
Yes.
Prakash, sir, yours is all your turn.
Oh, thank you.
Nam Prakash Ji.
Thank you, Ji.
Thank
was-
you, Hare Krishna.
Every class when I attend, I feel like, we need more and more. At the same time, other side thinking more and more how to put in a practice. It's so difficult, so challenging. Whenever Surya Garu having a class with kids, I'm not trying to blame anybody here, just saying my experiences. They go through the 9 code of conducts. I smile at myself and think whether these guys at least do follow on daily basis when they teach to their kids, right? And I self feel sad about myself also, right? We also being part of it on this association. But it requires a lot of courage, challenge, commitment, effort, all that. So with that, with this lesson, I don't want to divert to this lesson. As you say, Lord Himself standing by and eye witnessing what Arjuna is going through, because Arjuna being intellect and he's being himself as a god, he chose the right association. When Krishna asks which side you want, Sainya or you want me, where I don't do touch any weapon, which one do you need? So he got the right association. That is in itself is a blessing.
Correct.
That's the number one thing. Humans like us, we need a right association, like people like you, for all of us. That's one thing. I really wrote that the important point that you made, as this through this journey, first allow the person to feel the pain or to feel their independence, whatever the way you wanted to put, either independence or to do their karma, and then I'll wait for an guidance. I love that statement, and I acknowledge Anu Garu said, pray for them instead of advising them.
Yes.
It's very easy than said. We can do that on a regular basis. We can definitely include on our daily prayers, but as a so-called living beings or human beings, we do hold certain standards, no matter what. Even for kids, our own kids, forget about next door. We come up with certain standards. We hold to the certain standards. How do we enforce them? I mean, when they don't follow or when they don't meet to that standards, we fail in those cases, because we, as you said, you also touched this. It comes with their own nature, from their own core values. That's where we are also connected to this materialistic human life. How do you, probably next class or sometime, hopefully it will come through. If you
Yes.
guide a direction on that, that would be fantastic. Thank
See,
you.
one point I would like to mention here. See, praying for others is wonderful. I'm not denying that. You have to pray for yourself also.
Yes.
See, praying for oneself is much more important than praying for others. So I'm not asking you to become selfish. Yes, to become spiritually advanced, you need to become little selfish. And also, as regards advising, our children or our neighbors or whoever it is. See, our personal character and our personal conduct becomes a lesson for others. If we are serious in our spiritual sadhana, we don't have to tell so many things to our children.
Yeah.
They follow by our example. See, in English there is a saying, do as I say, but don't do as I do. This will not work. You understand my point, no?
Yes.
Many parents say, do as I say, but don't do as I do. See, father is a smoking, he's a chain smoker, and he tells his son, beta, this is very injurious for your health. I may be doing it, but you please don't do it. You think it will work?
No, it
100%
will not.
it will not work.
It will not.
So we have to set a very lofty example for our spouses, for our children, our dependents, by we ourselves following the spiritual sadhana with lot of enthusiasm and without any interruption. Then what happens? Even if you don't give them any advice, they will become wonderful devotees of Allah. This is a very, and also praying for others, more important than that is you pray for yourself. See, you improve yourself as a person, you improve your spiritual life, then everything will fall into place. Whether others are spiritual or not, or others are following your instructions or not, that's not a very important thing. You try to improve your situation, by seriously practicing spirituality, then everything will fall into place. This is my take on that.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. It's really look inward rather than outward. So yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Prabhuji, last 2 weeks back, Prakash Prabhuji asked one question. I am
Mhm.
waiting for that answer. He was asking that time shooting for going on in the US, and that time he was asking one question, that is how the victims are based on their karma, or what is the situation, what is our role to the society. He asked one question, but I did not remember exactly.
Mhm.
But I was waiting answer from you from past 2
Okay,
weeks.
Prakash ji can tell it. What was the question?
Yeah, I'm sure we will get through this as we listen through your conversations. The question is, destiny drives, or as a society, as a leaders, as a people, we need to take ownership for some of the activities, at least some of the activities, which are brutally sad to see, and it's very touching. How do we react?
You mean the shootings in US?
Not
you are referring
necessarily
to that?
shootings in the US, even Russia-Ukraine war, for example, even the situation in Sri Lanka, as you mentioned, how do we take responsibility as a society, as a one nation? But I was contemplating so much on that. I got an answer, but I'm sure I'll get an answer from you.
But
as well.
today we touched on that a little bit.
Yes, you kind of touched. Yes, I got that too. That's why I said we continue to hear from you and we learn from it.
Definitely.
Prakash, you can tell that what answer you got. At least we can also ponder that answer.
It's a
For
little
that
long
question.
answer. Yeah.
Little bit, at least.
Okay. With my whatever the little knowledge that I
Yes,
have, first, yes, first thing is, as you rightly mentioned, look inward. Try starting from you alone to direct your surroundings right, your town right, your streets right. Be an angel to your society. These angels required across the societies. Pray for it. How it happens through as a self-realization, showing the right path to our own people first, to myself first. Avoid looking for a worldly news. For example, don't read, consume what is needed. Don't look for which we cannot solve. Nobody can solve world problems. We are not a supreme divine power, nowhere. How we can solve is, we need lot spiritual gurus, spiritual teachers like you, like spreading the word constantly, like Surya Garu's family, and all other families who join through this journey. We need more people like this, which can eventually subsidize these behaviors over the time. But things will happen on its own reasons, which we cannot take responsible, but we can subsidize this by consistently demonstrating time and time. Yes, there's a long answer to it. But yes, I kind of, after answering this question, I was contemplating myself. I got an answer to myself. But yeah, as you touched today also, there's a point touched. And for my question that I raised also, you properly, nailed it down to reflect on myself. Then having as I said, like a conditional acceptance should not be there, whether it is inside or outside. Make an unconditional acceptance behavior. Once we get into there, then we will drive in the right direction. But honestly, as I said, I laughed at it many times, even for the 9 code of conducts. Laughed in the sense of not doing that, not because of blaming somebody. So start doing it. Reflect on that. Maybe slowly, maybe with the right intent, the right aim, right thought. Yeah, that will drive us, that will subsidize us. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anugaru, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for driving that. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, that's what today I was waiting, right? In today's discussion, and you were this one. Yeah, we got first practice our own self and spread that
Spread that,
positiveness to the.
constantly spread that, yes. And of course, our leaders should take the responsibilities. There is no doubt. There is no compromise. Their destiny may drive, but we can change the destiny in different perceptions, maybe in a different way than dying in a shooting. They still die if it is destined to be, but in a better way. That's the other way of concluding myself also. If a company needs to win, people need to work hard for that, no matter what. You need to right kind of people who thinks right, same purpose of the team's goals. Otherwise, as a team can't success. Similarly, leaders should focus how they can, even in this case, even Krishna himself guiding Arjuna, knowing the fact that he choose the Krishna, that he will be the driving force, but he in the battlefield, he given hands up with the right intent. His intention is right, but the aim but the result that he's thinking is wrong. That's where we need a right guru to drive him again in the path, to do the right, to establish the righteousness. That's why we are reading Bhagavad Gita even now, because of choose the right things and the right time. But it's very difficult for Arjuna itself. It's become he became. Yesterday we had a study circle. Thank you, Surya Garu, again making that happen. I was when he truly surrendered. God is your guru, whoever it is. In this case, for him itself, for Arjuna itself, the divine power. For people like us, the close associates will be looking on us to guide us. Hey, instead of taking this path, take this path. Truly surrender, seek for assistance is also very important. As we learn through this chapter, seeking the assistance is also very important. Otherwise, we don't get the right guidance. So yeah, many folds to it. Yes, thank you.
Yes, Surya Prabhu, your realization.
Thank you, Prakash. That was really great.
Thank you.
It made us to think, all of us to think what we are, actually it woke me up, actually. It woke me up. So I was also contemplating what I heard today. That's really good. Prabhuji, today, very nice about talking about the need of Guru. What is need of Guru? You said there are scriptures and then Puranas, Upanishads, everything is there. What is need of a Guru? So I got a small analogy. So when you go do your prayer, we have container, oil, cotton wick, matchbox, everything is there. But we need someone to light the lamp, right? Same thing, we have everything, all resources are there for us, but we need someone to tell us the summary of it, make it easy for us to follow. That's where the play of Guru comes. He makes it very easy for us. They say humans make the simple things complicated, but the divine people makes the complicated things simple for us. So that's why we need a Guru for us, right? So that's what my analogy came to. And another one is sorrow. You said that is really important, Prabhu. Sorrow when it comes, it may be because of a person, because of an object, because of a situation. The body level. Our body stops because of this. We don't know we don't want to do anything at all. Total sorrow. When you say that the sorrow hits the heart level, that's where the more damage happens. It's at the root level. So it may take, unless some wise person comes to us and talks to us, it does the proper way. Like our practice is not to take the sorrow heart level, stop it in the mind also. Try to analyze and stop it. I don't care about it. Okay, it will happen. Rational thinking, or do you remember your scripture stories, whatever it is, stop the sorrow outside itself. Don't take it inside. Once you take it inside, the damage it happens, we don't know to what extent it can happen. For example, if you throw a stone in the well, the waves will go up to the walls of the well, right? So same thing for us, we have to be very careful to go to the extent of any part of the body. So sorrow is very, very dangerous, bro. And then problems, you said, it's really funny, bro. You said whether you go to Canada, US, anywhere, problems will not stop you haunting you. I'm telling you, bro, I'm really jealous of you guys in Bahrain. You are so happy retirement life. Here we are struggling for this existence, Prabhu. And one or other issue, job issue, illegal visa issues. We cannot travel to India as frequently as possible, like what you are doing. You just fly, take a flight 4 hours, you are back in India.
Correct.
For us, it is a big task going to India itself. So really, we are, and that we get a vacation every year. How many places? 1.5 months or 2 months?
I
Paid
go
vacation.
once in 2 months. 2 months, 2.5 months.
Yeah, but that is so lucky you are. You cannot even think about it. So that was so. Problems will not stop anywhere, Prabhu. The more we go to the bigger place, bigger problems will come start. So I think one observation from my side is when you go to US, big countries like this, it becomes more humble. Things will go out of your control, and then you have to be very totally surrender to the higher level. Otherwise, we are totally gone. So we get more spiritual oriented in the US. We come here. Yes, what do you say? Father to the church, near to the God. That's what they say. And the acronym is ABCD was really touching. There's a takeaway magic word today: association, books, chanting, and devotional service. Wonderful.
All right.
Thought diet, yeah. I'll keep it in my daily chanting, repetition of that. And for Guru Prakash Prabhu, whatever he said, really Prabhu. But to what my knowledge is, play your role to the best. If you are a student, if you are a family person, or if you're an office person or a community person, do your role as the best. That's what you can do. We cannot do big things, but we can bring the change to a small level, to our level, whatever we can do. Do your best and leave the rest. Everything will happen. It's small. And instead of telling us they should take care of it, sorry, I'm not blaming you, Prakash. Lead us to change, but be the change. For whatever you want to change, try to make it. Otherwise, instead of telling, so I want them to do it, I want them to do it. Well, let me try to do that from myself, what I can do. So be the change. So that's what my takeaway today. Thank you, Prakash. That was really wonderful conversation you got up today. And thank you, Prabhuji, one more time, and for all your wonderful conversation.
Yeah, Surya Garu, just to contemplate on that. That's
Yeah.
that's why I run away from you, not joining the classes or whatever it is. I'm being honest. When I say committed, I will commit. Otherwise, I don't commit. Whatever, as you said, whatever the role you do with your full 100%. I do it even till today. There is no doubt for it. If I commit, I'll do it. Even if I want to do a bad thing, if I think, I'll do it, no matter what. I don't care whether God, mom, dad, I don't care. If I commit, I'll do it. After talking to you today, after saying that statement in public, I used to tell Chandu quite often, it's personal. It's family, personal, things will happen.
Excuse me. I think I will take leave at this stage.
I have one
You can
question.
continue.
I have one question. Swami, one question for you, please. Why 16 times, if I can ask you that question, a simple question. Why 16 times chanting Hare Rama, Hare Krishna? Why not 11 or why not 21? Is there any particular reason for it?
Counts.
That's what Srila Prabhupada has prescribed for all followers of his God.
Okay. Thank you. That answers my question. Thank you.
Correct. I will take leave. You can continue your conversation.
Yes,
Thank you,
we will.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah.
Yeah, tell you, Prakash.
Being honest, I'm being very honest. After talking, after having a conversation here, saying that statement, I was thinking myself loud.